Welcome to Dear Book Coach. I'm Terry Thayer, certified book coach, certified focusing professional, and author.
And I'm Carrie Savage, writer, project manager, and certified book coach.
And I'm Stephanie Detloves, writer and certified book coach.
This is a friendly advice space for you as you plan, draft, and revise your novel. In each video, we answer a question from an author, from a writer like you. And we answer it from three different points of view. You get to pick the advice that works for you. Today's question comes from Noah. Noah says, I'm in the middle of my first draft and I'm starting to question everything. I don't even know if I should keep writing it. When do you know it's time to give up on a project? Carrie?
Oh, Noah, I feel your pain. But I'm probably going to come down on the side of like, first of all, definitely don't give up on it right away. Maybe put it aside for a few weeks or a month, then see, like, are you still thinking about it while you're not actively working on it? Is it still like lingering in the back of your mind? If so, I would say you're not ready to give up on it. I'd say you probably just hit a patch where you have a question that you are having a hard time answering, or something is making you stuck. But conversely, if you feel a huge sense of relief and like just a release of tension when you put it aside, and for that like little bit of time that you give yourself a break, maybe that is telling you to like that you should let it go for a little while. The thing about projects is, sometimes I think we treat them as very precious things, and they are. I don't want to say that they're not, but you can always come back to it. Just because you've put it in a drawer, whether that's literal or metaphorical, it doesn't mean that it disappears into the ether. It's still there. It's still a thing that, you can come back to in 6 months or 6 years or whatever. So I think, give yourself a little bit of time and space from it, but also give yourself a bit of permission and see really how it makes you feel. I'm going to now talk a little bit about something that I feel like we talk a lot about here at Dear Book Coach, which is like, are you stuck because you dove into your draft without doing any planning? And you can see there's lots of videos we have about different aspects of planning. And maybe what you need to do is set aside the manuscript for a little bit and think about why you're writing your book and who you're writing it for, and do some of that foundational thinking, those higher level questions that we've talked a lot about before. Knowing those deeper levels of motivation can be critical when the going gets tough. And don't be afraid to put something aside if it's not setting you on fire. I'm probably a little more lenient than these other two. I feel like when we've talked about questions around this before, about saying that, working on something that feeds your creative energy rather than draining it is going to be a thing that's going to be sustaining to you. And I know that Stephanie and Terry are not saying, oh no, like power through if you're, no matter what. But I think, giving yourself some time and space and listening to really how that makes you feel is really important. And nothing is forever. You can always come back to it. So Stephanie, what do you think?
Yeah, I actually completely agree with you, Carrie. I'm actually, this is very timely for me because I'm living this question today. Just today, I sent an email to my book coach and was like, I'm questioning everything. So it's, I feel your pain, Noah. There's no real way for us to answer this definitively for you because every project is different. Every writer, every time of life is different. Also within the lifespan of a project from idea to publication, there are highs and lows, no matter how great the story is and how much you love it. And so there are going to be these dark days, even if this is the best thing you've ever written. Carrie suggested setting it aside for however much time and asking yourself some questions. And I think that's really important. And I have some specific questions, to add to Carrie's list, which are, why did you start writing it in the first place? maybe do some free writing with that and let the ideas just come out. What made you start? What fired you up about this topic or these characters in the beginning? What are you trying to say about the world with this story? So we have talked before about how every story has some sort of point that the author is trying to make. And so your question is, what is that point? And do you care about that point? Because if you don't care, if you were making a point, but now you're like, actually, I don't really feel that passionate about that, then that's telling. Or if you, another question is, why does this story matter to me personally? And again, the flip side of that is, does it matter to me? And if your answers to these questions are like, I don't know, or it doesn't really matter, then honor that and leave the story for now or forever. I mean, you don't have to delete it forever. It'll still be in your files, so you can always come back to it someday. But if asking them those questions rekindles your fire for the story and reminds you why it's important, then I'd say keep going, because it might just be a dark time in your writing process and you'll come out on the other side. You could also change tactics, like Carrie suggested, do different kinds of work with it. You could hire a coach to help you get through the hard part. There's lots of options. So I just say, don't just give up emotionally and without much thought, like actually give it thought and then make your decision rationally rather than impulsively. Terry?
Yeah, I'm going to say rather than rational, I'm going to do a little focusing exercise so we can tune into what our body is thinking about this. We have a lot of wisdom in here, and so I want to show you how you can access that. I just want to let anybody know who's doing anything besides just sitting and watching this video or listening to it, that we are going to be doing things that involve your body and perhaps closing your eyes. So you can put this aside till a later time. You can always come back to it over and over again as many times as you need to. So for right now, let's just settle down into our bodies a little bit, noticing where you are in your space, feeling your body in your chair, feeling the support that's there. I really like to focus on how my feet are connecting to the earth, feeling that tug of gravity, feeling again, that support of the earth. And, if you're listening to this later, really taking your time, but bringing your awareness inside, into this area between your throat and your belly. There's a lot of information in here, there's a whole nervous system in here that we can tap into. So this question of whether I should continue with this book or not, let's picture the book, kind of get a sense of it, the overall, what your hopes and dreams were for it, whatever comes to mind when you think about this book. Bring that into your awareness. Not so much into your mental awareness, but let an image or feeling form in your body. And then you're at kind of at a crossroads. Do I continue? Do I stop? So you can, in one hand, you can place this question, do I continue writing this book? In the other hand, stopping this book. That's the other alternative. So let them both be there. You can use your hands to see how close together they are. Perhaps if you try and bring them together, there's like a magnetic, rejection of each other. But just holding both of those ideas, giving up on the book, continuing on the book in your hands. And see if one is pulling you more than the other. Just noticing if one just wants your attention a little bit more than the other one. And in doing that, you can settle into that one, allowing it to be there, allowing it to grow. This is a question you may come back to time and time again. So this may be just an answer for right now, but just seeing which one really is drawing you in. You may have a very clear answer. Oh, yes, I want to continue. Oh, no, I want to stop. Or it may not be quite that clear, but just seeing which one has the most juice for now and turning your attention to that one, letting the other one just kind of fade away for now. You can find some place for it to rest. You may have to come back to it, but just kind of bringing your full attention now to the one that had the most juice, the most drawing in, and seeing how that feels in your body. Does it feel good? Or does it feel bad? It's either a negative or a positive charge for the most part, but just seeing how that is and spending some time there, just nonverbal, not thinking, just in your body, sensing what it would be like to continue, what it would be like to stop. And do that for a while. You may have to do it several times and come back to it when you can. For now, this is going to be it for today. So just bring your awareness back into your space, knowing that you can come back to this question anytime and knowing that there's answers here in your body. So I hope that was helpful.
It was helpful to me. I guess I'm going to keep writing.
Yay, that's what I was hearing in your voice when you were making your point. So, all right.
Nice. And I knew I was going to keep going, but I used it like the sort of fuel for my writing session that is coming up in about an hour. So that was awesome. Thank you, Terry, as always. And I guess that is going to be it for today. We hope you found an answer that made sense to you at this point in your life and at this point in your book. Remember, you can submit a question anytime at dearbookcoach.com and subscribe to our weekly email. Monthly, we draw a name to win a call with one of us. So we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.